Hello everybody, this is my reporting news, home news. In the heart of uptown Bogota is the sector, and now as San Victorino, there the inhabitants of the Colombia capital can find all kinds of imported products at prices much lower than in any other part of the city. Recently, however, the arrival of Chinese merchants has caused consternation and in some cases even violence. Colombian merchants says that the Chinese have come to work without a visa and that they are bringing smuggled goods into the country. The merchants allege the low prices charged by the Chinese merchants are pouring than our business. Semana Magazine published a video interview featuring one second Colombian merchant who felt intimidated by the competition. San Victorino is a microcosm of free market and commerce with an estimated 12 billion Colombian pesos per day is sold per day. The vast majority of eating cash, which reduces transactions costs between buyer and sellers. Beginning on Wednesday, March 1, protests by Colombians against their China's competition turned violent, as the protesters began to attack China's storefront. The merchants in question had to close their premises in order to avoid having all their merchandise destroyed. In addition, one of the Colombian merchants told a representative of the Chinese community, Kenny Tzu, that they would not allow the Chinese to do business in Colombia and that they were responsible for ruining Colombian business, especially with regard to textiles. Tzu allegedly replied that the world speak with his colleagues to see what we call to, but he added that competition always brings challenges, and that the world is governed throughout the free market. Finally, in the video published by Semana, the Colombian merchant said that if the Chinese want to do business in Bogota, they will have to walk over dead bodies. This is a sport news. A dominant Lewis Hamilton delivered a crushing victory at the China's Grand Prix to join the fellow rival Sebastian Vettel at the summit of the Formula One Championships. Hamilton claimed his fifth victory in Shanghai with a lights to flight with Wayne Bettens, who took the checkered flag at the opening round in Australia, recovering from fifth to finish in second place. Max Verstappen, who started 16th, completed the podium following an inspiring display in the early wet ride condition before fending off a challenge from his Red Bull team mate Daniel Ricciardo in the closing stage. The poor weather, which rocked havoc with Friday's practice schedule and forced the sport news owners to consider moving the race forward by 24 hours, returning overnight. But despite a damp track, the Grand Prix went a harmless schedule. And Paul seated Hamilton for the second race in succession, made New Mexico at the start as he nailed it 380 yards that's down to turn one to retain the lead Lubat. Vettel following in began. Canadian rookie Lance Stroll was the first casualty of the inclement conditions after he was pounded from begin by the Force India of Sergio Perez. The Williams ended up in the gravel and the virtual safety car was deployed. While Hamilton remained out on track, Vettel a number of drives down the pit line to take on the slick runway with track condition rapidly improving under overcast by dry skies. Antonio Giovinazzi, who has replaced the unit Pascal Wehrlein here, was among them, but after crashing in qualifying on Saturday, the Italian was at it again, losing control of his Sauber on a damp patch of the track and crashing into the pit wall. His Sauber was in bits and the safety car for Royal was sent on the circuit. Hamilton took the opportunity to take on the dry tires and it worked out perfectly for the Briton as he emerged from the pit lane still in the lead. When the safety car pitted at the end of lap 7, Hamilton led from Ricciardo, Kimi Raikkonen and Verstappen, who had made up an Antonicic 11 places on the opening lap, with Vettel now down in pit. International news. La Explorer in support of Hungary's Soros Bucket University. Thousands of people have taken part in a protest in Hungary to demand the abolition of laws which call for the closure of one of the country's most prestigious universities. New rules introduced by the government mean the Central European University will be unable to award diplomas because it is registered in the USA. The university was founded by philanthropist George Soros. The legislation has already been reached through Parliament. Demonstrated in the capital on Sunday was President Janusz Adler, not to see the controversial legislation made by the government right by fights part of Prime Minister Viktor Orbán. On landline Santos protest, it was not just students who were out in the street. There were also lots of families with some middle aged and some elder people in the crowd. They marched peacefully in the bright spring sunshine, crossing Budapest's historic chain bridges as they headed toward Parliament. The protesters chanted slogans urging President Janusz Adler to ask the Constitutional Court to review the new law adopted by Parliament last week that is likely to lead to the closure of the issue. BBC Budapest correspondent Nick Thorpe says it was probably the biggest anti-government protest in Budapest since Mr. Orbán came to power 7 years ago. The protesters took to the streets both of defend the CEO and protest against attempts by the government to preserve human rights and environmental groups which support refugees. At least 50,000 people, organized says as many as 80,000 people protested to part in the demonstration. The government passed a mandate to the higher education at last week, which will make it impossible for the EU to continue working in Budapest, 26 years after it was set up by Hungarian-born billionaire financier and philanthropist George Soros.